Welcome to another episode of the Rathercast. I'm joined by my co-hosts, as always, Ender and Elodin. Gentlemen, how are you today?
Good.
So much enthusiasm from these young children. I love it.
Serene.
So, you guys you did something cool last week. You went to a performing arts camp. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
We got to perform Pirates Past Noon, which is from Magic Treehouse.
And Ender was Jack, and I was Jonah and a jellyfish.
You were Jonah and a jellyfish. A pirate. You were a pirate.
I can tell you one of my lines.
Okay.
You have more than one book!
It was very cute. You guys.
That was directly to my brother.
Yeah, you guys were in scenes together. As a former, well, not former, but I studied theater a lot in college, and it was very special for me to see you in that, and that was delightful. I loved getting a chance to do that. So that was one of your summer camps, and now we can talk about today's Would You Rather. This is a surprise for you. I came up with a Would You Rather.
And we don't know it.
You don't know it because I didn't want you to have time to think about it ahead of time.
Okay.
Why did you get to think about it?
Because it was my idea. You are both also welcome to introduce a Would You Rather secretly for the first time on the pod here. So the Would You Rather today.
Podcast, that is.
The podcast, the pod. We're cool. We call it the pod sometimes. So I do need to file a little bit of an audience warning today. Today we're venturing into some sort of icky territory. Today's episode is kind of gross. Kind of ugh. Yeah? All right. So it's not that bad. So today's episode. Would you rather for one entire year have to endure one of these two situations? Would you rather once a day for an entire year have a worm crawl out of your ear or a spider crawl out of your nose? Once a day. Now, here's the first rule, and then we can debate the rest of the situation. Worm out of your ear, spider out of your nose. Neither of these things cause you any pain, and in fact, you don't even feel it at all. You might not even be aware, but everyone around you is gonna notice it. So it might happen in the middle of the night while you're sleeping. It happens at a random time, different time every day. Worm crawls out of your ear, or a spider crawls out of your nose.
Now I have one question.
Please, I love it.
Does the spider worm ever go into your body?
Nope. There's just magically a new worm crawls out of your ear every day and just falls to the ground. And the spider crawls down and jumps off your body.
Can you pull the worm out?
Well, if you feel it coming out,
Yeah.
you could pull it, help it come out faster?
Yeah.
Sure, let's say yes. Okay, that affected your answer?
Yes.
Really? And you know how much I don't like spiders. It's funny is that I came up with this one and I still don't know what the better answer is. I feel like I would get used to either one about 30 days in. What do you think would be more disconcerting to someone? Say you were like at school doing your math problems and you're with some other kids in a group and they saw a worm fall out of your ear or a spider crawl out of your nose.
If you're with a bully, then you just throw the worm at them.
Or the spider.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think would be, which one would the teacher find more troubling?
Worm.
The worm falling out of your ear?
Yeah.
Also, how long? I think every day it would be like a different size spider and worm. Sometimes it might be a huge spider, which would be unfortunate if it was a tarantula, because that would really be a lot of spider to crawl out of your nose.
Yeah.
It can't be a tarantula.
Too big?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. It's got to be a spider that could fit in your nose.
Yeah.
And a worm that could fit in your ear. But it could be really long. You'd be like, this worm has been crawling out of my ear for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, but you pulled it out then.
Oh yeah, you can yank it. That makes sense. What other questions do you have? Did you come up with an answer just like that?
Yeah.
I still don't know what I'm going to choose.
I kind of have an answer.
You should probably talk into the microphone though, so everyone can.
Kind of have an answer.
What does that mean? Kind of. What's your hesitation? Where are you?
I'm pretty towards worm.
You're leaning worm. You're not supposed. Don't reveal where you're leaning. It's supposed to be a reveal at the end of the episode.
Oh, please.
Oh please. What's your hesitancy?
I don't know. I just can't decide which would...
Be more gross. Less gross.
Yeah.
Which one would be easier to get used to?
Yeah.
What are you more comfortable with? Spiders?
I mean...
Or, you know what this would be great for if you were into fishing?
Oh, yeah.
Because every day you'd get a free thing to put on your hook.
Yeah. And you just put them in a bin.
Yeah, you just like, here's today's worm. Save it for fishing. But none of us are really into fishing, unfortunately.
I mean, I go fishing sometimes.
You do go sometimes. Can you put a spider on the end of a hook and catch a fish that way?
No.
No?
But you'd be catching a lot of flies.
You could have a whole spider collection after a few days. After a month, that's a lot of spiders.
Kennedy would definitely choose
You're-
spider.
To our wide audience, you're referencing a neighborhood friend, yeah. She would choose what?
Spider, because there's a spider that the vacuum died right after it crawled in and it was still alive. And she took it out for a pet and put it in a jar and poked holes in the top of the jar.
Oh, wow, she's actually into spiders.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm always impressed by people who can be really comfortable around them. I mean, spiders are generally they're pretty safe, all things considered.
The vacuum wouldn't kill the spider.
Oh, yeah.
It went through the vacuum.
They vacuumed a spider.
It didn't die.
Could I vacuum the spider out of my nose once a day?
No. Because think this might happen in the middle of the night or
That's
when
right.
you're at school.
I think it would be worse for me if it did happen in the middle of the night, because then all day long I'd be like, when's a spider coming out of my nose? And then you would just be like, oh, I guess it never happened. And then as soon as you were like, I guess it's not happening today, that's when it would happen. All right, let's see. I think we should
Answer.
decide. I'm going to go with youngest to oldest today, because
But we always go youngest
No,
to
we don't.
oldest.
Do we?
No,
Yes.
last time we did.
No, we've never gone.
Let's go middle, youngest, oldest.
Yay.
Okay, Ender, that means you are going first. Spider out of your nose once a day for an entire year, or a worm crawls out of your ear. He's choosing right now. He still hasn't decided.
No, I already have.
Oh, okay. What's the answer for you?
Spider.
Oh, I got distracted. You said spider? He said spider. A spider out of your nose?
Yes.
That's so creepy. So what turned you away from worm?
Ew.
Really? Slimy, kind of.
Yeah, but your ears are already
And also,
slimy.
you'd be best friends with spider lovers.
Oh, yeah. You'd get really comfortable with spiders, and spiders kind of freak me out now. So that'd be good, like therapy, like a way to work through my fear of spiders.
Yeah, but
Interesting.
worms.
I'm not scared of worms.
Yeah, but
Right.
worms are really
Slimy?
and good for soil.
Oh, you could treat the soil. That's smart. So
So
it's your turn. What's your answer?
And remember, we used to have pet worms.
We did?
Yeah, when you were at
Mulch.
no.
Oh, we used to have a mulching bin that was
Compost.
a compost bin that was fed by worms. That did not go well for us.
No,
The worms
not at all.
died.
It was very hard to keep the fruit fly population down, and the worms kind of would occasionally die off, and it was unfortunate.
How would the
Which way are you going, spider or worm?
I'm going worm.
He's going worm. One spider, one worm. That means I'm going to be the tiebreaker today. What's your major reasoning for picking worm out of your ear?
You could hear it coming.
You could hear it come. Well, I suppose it would be like you'd suddenly not be able to hear because there'd be a worm blocking your ear as it's crawling out?
Let's say you can hear and smell.
You could smell the spider crawling out of your nose?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can hear other stuff.
So you would know what's happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if it happened in the middle of school, you wouldn't miss a lesson.
Right.
And
you could be like, oh, when you saw the look on people's face, you could be like, oh, don't worry about it. That's just the spider that crawls out of my nose once a day. Totally normal.
Or you could look away. If I'd ask to sit in the most left corner,
Yeah.
so then I could look away.
It comes out of a random ear.
Yeah, it comes out a random nostril, random ear. You never know.
I just look away.
Yeah. I have to say, I like
if it came
your...
out this ear, you'd just go like that. So then no one could see it.
But don't you think that you would, especially you, would be like, you'd use it to like play pranks on people. You'd be like, oh, my worm is coming. I'm going to go freak this kid out. So, I heard the good reasons for spider. I heard the good reasons for worm. I think it's going to be a little crazy, but I'm going to go spider. Can you believe it? And I think the reason is it would help me work through my fear of spiders, because at the end of the day, I think spiders are more afraid of us than we are of them, and most spiders are not.
Yeah, but
Dangerous.
spiders can bite more.
They can, but we did stipulate at the beginning that they can't hurt you, and it doesn't hurt when they come out and stuff. So I think I'm going to work through my fear of spiders by having a spider crawl out of my nose every day, and then I'll have Elodin around in case I ever need a worm. It's perfect.
In case you ever go fishing. Mister, I can't swim.
I can't really swim so good. I need to take swimming lessons before I could learn to fish before that, but I don't know.
Yeah, but then you might fall in and you'd be like, ah!
That's why I wear a life vest. Do you remember that time we went floating and I fell out of the raft into the water?
Yeah?
Yeah.
You couldn't swim.
And you laughed at me.
What did you end up having to do to get back to the boat?
Well, fortunately, right before that, I had spoken to a friend, and he was an experienced whitewater rafting person. He said the most important thing when you're whitewater rafting is if you fall out, don't try to stand up, because that's when people get injured, because they stand up and then they lose their footing and the water knocks them down again and they hit themselves in the rocks. So I just kind of, meandered and floated my way back to you guys.
And did we save that raft?
You pulled over. I mean, the reason I fell out of that raft is because it was meant for a pool and not for a river floaty, and I ignored all warnings. That was a good time. So we have spider, worm today on the Rathercast.
Only because of you, but my little giraffe eats worms. Or spiders.
He threw a giraffe at me. Thank you for listening to the Rathercast. We will catch you next time. Would you rather show your love for the Rathercast by supporting the show, or crush the hopes and dreams of a dad and his 2 sons? Make the right choice and learn how you can help by checking the show notes or visiting TheRathercast.com. You can also submit a Would You Rather question of your own to be considered for a future episode by emailing TheRathercast@gmail.com.